everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Kylie A, and today I'm gonna be ranting. This is like nervous laughter. I'm upset, okay? I just laugh when I'm upset. So today I want to talk about my least favorite trope. It's mostly just used in fantasy. I feel like I've never seen it used in a contemporary. Soap operas do it all the time. But I cannot even tell you what it is without giving you a disclaimer first, because I am going to be seriously spoiling the ends of some books right now. So I'm going to give you a list of books. And basically, if you haven't read something on that list that you are planning to read, that you really want to read, that you would be pissed off if I ruined it for you, you need to shut this video off. Okay? The Nevernight Chronicles, Harry Potter, City of Bones, not really City of Bones, Shadow and Bone and King of Scars, the whole Grishaverse. Just the whole, I'm going to be talking about the whole Grishaverse. A Court of Thorns and Roses, like the whole thing. Cinder, just the first book. If you've read the first book, you're good. Strange the Dreamer, and Girls of Paper and Fire. If you have not read one of the books that I listed and you are interested in reading it, and you would be mad if I ruined the ending or gave away major plot spoilers, please shut this video off. Okay, let's give it 5 seconds. Okay, if you are still here, you have been warned. I am going to ruin endings of books right now. Okay, my most hated trope is when somebody dies and then they fucking come back to life. Why? I hate it. I hate it super extra when it's the villain that it happens to. But it also bothers me when it's just a regular character. Don't get me wrong, some of my favorite series have used this trope, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm okay with it. Okay, so of the series that I listed, now I want to talk about them, and I'm going to go from least offensive to most offensive, like in my opinion, of the uses of this trope. Okay, so the first one is Harry Potter. In Harry Potter, this trope is used 2 times, and the first time is like the very least offensive. It's actually used this way in Harry Potter and City of Bones, where the villain has died, but it is in the past, and like at the start of the books, the villain is coming back to life. And so that never bothered me with either of those cases. I'm only just reading The Mortal Instruments. So I'm not sure what kind of explanation they give for Valentine coming back to life. But in Harry Potter, it's like a very detailed, like, magical system, like, explanation for it, right? Like the Horcruxes. The Horcruxes basically kept him alive, and that was his intention. He did that on purpose, making those Horcruxes so that he couldn't die. Okay? So I forgive that one. And then with Harry Potter, again, him being a Horcrux at the end and having to die in order for Voldemort to die, I kind of forgive that one too. Like, he didn't really die. I mean, I guess, but like, that's the least offensive use of that trope, I feel like. Harry Potter and City of Bones. I'm not sure. The Mortal Instruments might use it again, but I'm unaware because I have only read City of Bones. Then my next one on my list is Cinder. And Cinder is similar. we find out at the end of Cinder, the big reveal that I guessed very early on is that she is this lost princess. So basically there was a fire when she was a toddler, and the princess was thought to have died, but instead people saved her and smuggled her out because the fire was not an accident. It was attempted murder. And so that's also a non-offensive use of, but she actually wasn't dead, so I guess I could probably just cut this whole clip. Because I just realized, I guess she wasn't actually dead. But, yeah. Okay, so there's that. Then number 4 is Strange the Dreamer. Okay, so in Strange the Dreamer, at the beginning, the very beginning, like the prologue for the book, a girl falls from the sky and gets impaled, like on a fence or something. So she's dead, okay? We know that she's dead. At the beginning, we know that she's dead. But her sister has, like, a power where she can, like, grab onto people's souls, right? And so, even though she died, the sister, like, grabs her soul, and she continues to be a full-fledged character in the second book, and she never actually, like, passes on, because her sister is just, like, basically anchoring her soul to Earth. And even though I hate that, like, she died but she didn't die, I really hate that, but that's actually kind of cool, like what the author did there, and how it was able to work, like, with the different powers that the people have and stuff like that. So that was also a very, like, non-offensive use of the trope. Number 5, ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Okay, so A Court of Thorns and Roses uses this trope 3 times? At the end of A Court of Thorns and Roses, Feyre gets killed by... Man, what's her name? Oh man, she has, like, some stupid-ass name. What's her name? Gets killed by her, and then the fairies do their little magical shit where they take, like, a little drop of fairy power from their hearts and put it into Feyre. And she not only lives, but she becomes Fae. Okay, that's a major spoiler, so I hope you didn't care if you're still here. Then, like, I mean, okay, I guess, like, that's pretty cool. She turned into Fae. Let's see where that storyline goes. Like, okay, I guess. Then, at the end of the trilogy, at the end of the 3rd book, we just had a war, and, Feyre recited some shit to release Amren from her Fae body, and Amren goes and fucking destroys everything, like, all the evil armies, but then, like, the use of her power like that, like, basically caused her to die, and then the cauldron's broken, and that's, like, making, like, a black hole, and so Feyre is, like, using her power to try to, like, put the cauldron back together, and, like, Rhys is there, and he's, like, touching her, and then so she's, like, using his power too, but, like, the bitch ain't paying attention. And she uses all, like, she turns around, like, the cauldron's good, she turns around, and he's dead. He's dead. Everyone knew it except for her, because he's like, I love you. And she's like, I'm almost done here. God. So he's dead. And you're like, man, shit. And you're fucking ugly crying. He's dead. Then, like, all other fairies come. And you know that magical heart shit that they did with her? she starts screaming at them, "You did it for me, now you have to do it for him too." And they're like, I guess, like, I don't really like him though. And they did, and they all did it for him. Okay, I guess, like, let's have a happy ending. But then, when he wakes up, he's like, "Someone help Amryn get out of the cauldron." And everyone's like, "What the fuck?" And the readers are like, "What the fuck?" And there's basically no explanation. But when he was hovering around in, I don't know, wherever he was in the afterlife, he's hanging out with Amryn because she died too. And when he feels himself being pulled back, I guess he held her hand or some shit and brought her back too. Like, that was unnecessary. I mean, I love A Court of Thorns and Roses. I love that trilogy. And I did not want Rhys to die. But, like, Amryn did not need to get unnecessarily saved. Like, their friendship group wasn't so... And she wasn't, like, a super beloved character. Like, she could have died. It was a war, and she is actually some sort of creature that is, like, hundreds of thousands, like, millions of years old. You know, like, she lived her life. Like, if she wants to sacrifice herself for the cause, like, can we just let her? I mean, okay. So I was annoyed about that. I was annoyed. I mean, like, I felt like Rhys didn't need to die in the first place. With all the other fairies with their power, Rhysand has, like, where he can talk to people in their heads. So, like, if his power, like, wasn't enough to, like, help her heal the cauldron, could he not have just brain messaged the other fairies to, like, come over here and help? Is that not an option? Just throwing that out there. Just saying. Okay, moving on. Number 6, The Nevernight Chronicles. This is another one of my favorite series. But I don't even know what to do with Dark Dawn because of what they did at the end. This is just like Strange the Dreamer, where, well, I mean not, but like at the beginning of Nevernight, it says at the beginning that this is the story of Mia's life and that she dies at the end. It says that at the beginning, that she's going to die at the end. And at the end of God's Grave, Trick, a character who was murdered during Nevernight, the first book, at the end of God's Grave, the second book, Trick is magically back to life, and the explanation that we are given is that he clawed his way back through the darkness to come back to her because he loved Mia so much. He just loved her so much. I didn't know that was how death worked, that you could just will yourself alive, but okay. So with that, we know that you can come back from the dead, apparently, in this world. And then we have Dark Dawn. And in Dark Dawn, for, like, if you haven't read it, like, I'm going to really spoil it. I'm going to spoil a lot of it. Click off if you have not read it. In Dark Dawn, we have Ashlyn, who is the main love interest. Since Trick died, she is the love interest of Mia, and she is tragically poisoned and dies. Right before the climax of the book, Trick basically commits suicide and helps Ashlyn come back to life. So he's gone forever now. We are told you can't come back more than once. Oh, whatever. So, but Ashlyn is back. She's like, you're not like they're not like the same, but like they're I mean, they're still alive. And then yes, at the end of the book, Mia had died, as she was supposed to, as she was meant to. But Ashlyn's still there because she clawed herself back from the dark. Please. And then in the last few pages of the book, Mia comes back. And it's like happily ever after at the end. Happily ever after? The Nevernight Chronicles ended with fucking happily ever after? I don't even know what to do with that. That like goes against everything that like the whole series was about. And I mean, on one hand, like, that's really nice. Like, for those characters, that's really nice. But, like, as a reader, like, you're not expecting that. Like, you're really not expecting that. Nevernight is so gritty. It is so gritty. It is very, very adult. It is very, like, stab. Lots of killing. Lots of blood and death. And darkness. And then at the fucking end, you have them basically like living happily ever after. I don't even know. I think I still like gave it 5 stars on everything, but I'm really like, the use of that trope at the end there, I'm having trouble with it. Okay, then number 7. I'm still mad about this. This is the second last book that I'm going to talk about. Girls of Paper and Fire. I know there's a sequel, but I'm not even going to bother reading the sequel. So the thing about some of the books that I talked about, like if the trope was used in like an interesting way, like in Strange the Dreamer, or like how Feyre was brought back to life in the first ACOTAR, like it's not something that really bothers me. But particularly with villains, or if it's something that I think is just so, like with Dark Dawn, it was really so like out of character for the books to like end that way. Like it felt like it didn't like follow the theme. You know what I mean? But with Girls of Paper and Fire, it was the first in a series, and it wasn't a book that like really blew me away. I think without having that happen at the end, it would have been a 4-star, and I would have definitely like read the sequel. But because it wasn't a 5-star read, like the way that Strange the Dreamer was a 5-star read for me, Nevernight and God's Grave were 5-star reads to me, before we had people coming back to life. You know, so it only would have been a 4-star read to me. Like, I liked it. I thought it was really good. And then, so at the end, we have like the whole thing goes down, and like that bad guy like really gets like stabbed, and you're sure he's dead. Like, he's stabbed. He's been down like on the ground for a while. And literally, like, the last few paragraphs, someone goes and, like, checks him, and he fucking has a pulse. No, like, I'm mad. No. I mean, there's not really much else to say about that, but it's like, no, like, they went through so much effort, and like, it's been a long time since I've read it. Like, I feel like I read it in, like, February. So it's been a long time, and I was mad about it, so maybe I, like, rage forgot. But, like, I feel like they pretty much made sure that he was dead, and then he ended up not being dead, and it was like, no. I just don't like it. Okay, So now I want to talk about the most offensive, the book that like got me so mad about this that I just finished reading the other day. The whole point for this video, like if you're on my Twitter, I like vaguely tweeted out my rage when I finished the book. Okay, The Grishaverse and King of Scars. Okay, so if you're still here, hopefully you've read these books already because I'm about to tear them apart. In Shadow and Bone, at the end of the book, Alina figures out that she can tap into her own power, that it's not just for the Darkling to use, she can get at it herself. And she explodes the sun but then leaves them in darkness in the fold. And it's kind of assumed that the Darkling and everyone who's with him dies. But then, of course, quickly in the beginning of the next book, you discover that he's not dead. So that's the first use of it. Which, like, you kind of felt, though, that, like, he probably wasn't dead. Because otherwise, why are we continuing here, right? So there's that. But at the end of the third book, I forgot if it was Ruin and Rising, I think. They burned the fucking body. Okay? They burned the body. But somehow, in King of Scars, he's fucking back. It doesn't come up until, like, the end of King of Scars, and the explanation that we're given. Basically, Nikolai and Zoya are, like, kidnapped by these really old Grisha gods. One of them's, like, a fucking dragon. And the one woman tells them that she switched out his body with somebody else's or something, and she preserved his body because she wanted him to come back for some reason. I don't know. I was pissed, so I wasn't retaining a lot of anything. Yeah. And before Zoya could stop her, she brought him back to life. And so that's how King of Scars ends. Basically, they have the Darkling, but they're like, he's locked up. Nikolai has him, but he's locked up, and they kind of just show like Genya and the other people that are the other characters that he's still alive, and it's like, and I mean, on one hand, I understand, like, you've already gone through all the trouble to make the whole backstory, like, you've created this villain that just inspires terror, like, just in his name, you know, all that shit. But, like, he's not the only bad guy in the world. You know what I mean? Like, there's gotta be... You're a writer. You're writers. Authors, you're writers. Can you not write a new villain? Like, why you gotta bring back that old one? I just hated the Darkling. I hate him. And I'm like, how is he still alive? No. Burn him again. Like, Lee Bardugo, come on. Like, you want to kill Matthias? Can we have Matthias back? I'll let you have the Darkling back if we can have Matthias back. Please? For fuck's sakes. And she also killed, like, at the end of Ruin and Rising, like, Mal had to die. But then he didn't. But then he wasn't dead. He was alive. But he just didn't have, like, his fucking magic tracker instincts anymore. I don't fucking know. Mal was like shitty. He was like, she did not do a good job like developing his character. He was like stale bread. He was like wilted lettuce. And we got him back. He survived. But Matthias, you're gonna kill Matthias? I don't know, man. Like, I'm really, like, I can't with the fucking Darkling being alive. I can't. And then, of course, I have to fucking wait till the next book comes out. I don't know why. I thought I should have looked into it more, but I thought that King of Scars was a standalone. But based on the ending, it obviously isn't. Okay, I think that's all I have to say. At least I got it out. I got it out. I'm not okay after King of Scars. I'm mad. Okay? I'm mad about King of Scars. I'm mad about Dark Dawn. I'm mad about Girls of Paper and Fire. Like, I don't like it. If somebody's dead, they can just stay dead. That's an option. Okay. Thank you. If you got this far watching me rant, thank you. Thank you for getting this far. I hope you enjoyed seeing me angry. Let me know what you thought of this video. I did not script this video. All I have here is a list of the books, and before I started filming, I made the list and I put them in order from least offensive to most offensive, and that's it. And the rest of it just came from my brain. So let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my opinions and what your least favorite trope is. And yeah, I hope the next book that you read does not contain your least favorite trope. Oh, good night, everybody. Bye. Holy. So, I am not sure if they give an explanation or what sort of explanation they give for... Man, fuck off. When people riding their goddamn motorcycles around in the wintertime, I'm trying to film a rant video.